There we go. Yay. Wow. All right. Thank you for being here and welcome to your practice. Yes. Well, no words of wisdom are dropping in, so we'll listen to inner wisdom. Let's start like this. Some of this. You can add your voice even. Good. Okay. Yeah. Index finger, middle finger on the eyes of the chest. So collarbones, just beneath that. And you don't have to worry too much if I've got it right, but you're going to feel an indentation, the eyes of the collarbones. Just rub them. Get to know this place. The eyes of the chest. The backs of the knees are the eyes of the legs. And in the center of your foot are the eyes of the feet. I didn't make this up. All right, great. Let that go for a moment. Let's take these hands again. Let's go right in the underarms, nice and high, and just mush or love it up. This part that we don't often touch. Even when we use deodorant, it's in a nice little package. So nice if we can use these natural deodorants where you're actually rubbing your underarm every day. So lots of options for that at the health food stores. I think a co-op too carries food. Okay, release. Feel the energy of the chest, pointing up. And from here, friends, bring the hands together at your heart and bow your chin. Rest in your stillness for a couple breaths, feeling this body, and you can make it longer and taller. And so release into the earth or whatever you're sitting on. Chant Om together 3 times. Inhale to begin. Om. 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 You're dropping into your stillness. We'll just sit for a little bit. We'll stay exactly as you are. Release your hands. Soften your jaw. Gently releasing your hands, put your chin and open your eyes. Okay, so we'll stay sitting. If you need to do whatever you need to do, just take one hand over, place it on the floor. I'm actually going to start taking it low and just sweep it up. And let your elbow bend, and maybe your hand or your head will watch, your eyes will watch your hand, circling. Let your head move. Feel as the shoulders, if you're up right down, the right shoulder's moving a little bit. Good. And the next time your hand comes down by your knees, now we'll reverse. Sweep it up and out. Spread the fingers of the hands on the floor. And anchor that hand down as you lift this other arm up. That's it. Okay, let's do one more. And this time you'll let your left hand settle maybe on the right thigh or right knee, and we'll turn it into a twist. adding in your block if you need it. Okay, stay as you are. Now just move the chest and we'll just open up this twist in a nice way. So I'm just going to turn to the left and turn to the right. Hands stay where they are. Just turning your chest, your head, opening it up. We'll settle into the twist for a few moments. And you lengthen yourself, lift your heart. Imagine, you're King Charles doing this. Your whole life practicing to balance that crown on your head. And exhale, release, come to center, pause. And adjust your seat if you need to change the cross of your legs. Do that again. So we'll take the left hand down. We're going to start sweeping down at the bottom up. Just welcoming, shaking off any dust that is gathered during the night. And as we sleep, that's when these things come in. We're just sweeping it away. Feel your left hand on the floor. Fingers can spread and feel like movement in the left shoulder a little bit. Head is turning. Next time your hand comes down by your knees, just reverse this. Moving with your breath. And the next time your right hand comes down, keep it there. Take the left hand behind you, open into the twist, and then we'll floss it. Turning front to back. Head is moving. And then settling up your twist. Lift yourself nice and tall. Balance your crown. As we move into our crown years, so that silver hair is not gray. It's not really white, it's silver. It's your silvers. That's your crown. Well earned. And exhale and release. Come back to your center, pause. Good. Okay, we'll stretch the legs out. Give them a little bit of moving, and we're going to start with lying down and opening the chest. So I'm going to lie over the bolster, and actually I'll keep this for support for the head. And if that feels like it's too big of a drop, pad, props, you could also do the blanket roll that we often start with. So that's also a little more gentle than this bolster. So you're welcome to just roll your blanket, and you would put that. Oh, as I do this, I'm like, if you want higher height, you could even do this. And then I'm going to bring a block in for the head now. Okay. Another blanket for your hips, if you like a little extra support. Let's see, I'll go this way. Just take a moment to smooth. We love wrinkles, but not for our blankets when we're lying on them. Okay, and then you know the drill. So that the back of the chest is supported, and maybe the arms can come over top unless you have some shoulder stuff, and rest your elbows on the bolster. Just release some of that stress. Do my shirt here. So good. All right. Oh, this feels nice. All right, you can keep your legs bent, stretch them out. Whatever feels good. We'll take the block out and allow a deeper opening to happen. And it's really just about the drop. Every exhale, allow yourself to be a little heavier. It's inviting the breath to move in more deeply into the lung space and softening the back of the heart a little more. Okay, I'm going to take these arms up to the sky and then extend them overhead. Backs of the hands are going to rest on the floor, and if you need to bend the elbows, do that. So I'm going to stay on the bolster. I'm going to keep the arms overhead. I'm going to add a windshield wiper. So we'll bend the knees. You can put them as far apart or as close together as you like. Just being very mindful. Moving at a pace that works for you. Where you can feel what's happening. Anything you can work your way into, just inviting it. Savoring the simplicity of this. And we'll so keep the knees bent, walk the feet in. I'm going to roll over to your sides. You might push into the feet, lift your hips, shift your hips over to one side and roll to the opposite side. And then here, let's just set ourselves up. So if you're using blanket roll, bolster, whatever it is, we're going to put that right underneath the side. I'm on the right side, so the right side of the breast. So, we did this the other day with a block, which is very, very different. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going to put this left hand here and just roll side to side. So gently massaging. So once you're in it, you'll know I can go closer to the underarm. Just feel as you roll side to side. Okay, and then probably going more towards the back. And we'll drop in. And the first thing I'm going to do is, generally the chin wants to tuck, and take this arm over, take the head down. And then, you can take this left arm over if you like. You can even hold the wrist if this works, depending on how high you have your chest or anything. I'm just going to pull on the left hand, left arm. Good. Okay, we're going to add the legs. So take the left leg over top and right leg back. Maybe the left leg extends. So breathing. Oh, I'm feeling something here that needs some attention. Welcome it. And then gently release the left hand, pop your head onto your right hand for a moment. Yes, and support the neck. And then from here, I'm going to turn the head now. So I'm looking up to the sky, and the hand is going to hold maybe the back of the head or the right side. I just pop my legs back in. I'm just going to look up. Okay, take your left hand behind your back. So the back of the hand maybe settling in the small of your waist. You might even sneak it underneath. Okay, I'm going to keep the left hand where it is and extend the right arm, drop the head once again. See how that is for you. And then I'm also going to tilt myself back slightly. So I'm just moving that left hip back a little bit. Really let the head go. Wiggle your jaw around a little bit. Move the left shoulder around a little bit. Like look for, what can I access here? Okay. Unwind. This time we'll come right up. So maybe you look down first, use the hands, press yourself up. Let's take a quick moment to just be in the resonance of that. Oh, maybe turn your head a little bit. And I'm going to move my props over just so I'm still facing you, but you could just turn around. And then we'll do that again. So same thing, just finding, if I pulling and opening, you might even take your hand, move the tissue out of the way. find here. Yeah, and then we'll start, once you're in it, just start with the flossing, moving yourself front to back. And, you know, as I do this, I'm like, oh, I can go closer to the underarms and do that. Yes. Good. And then settling in, which most likely means coming back a little bit. You can stretch that arm. You have room, drop the head, the other arm over if that feels okay. I'm just going to hold the wrist, give it a pull, and then set the legs. I'll take the top leg out, back leg is just going to walk back. Little places, once we throw a prop in, become acknowledgeable, and this is what it means about meet yourself where you are. Oh, I didn't know I was there. Right underneath the shoulder blade, if you're feeling that. And we're all in very best company together, just working within. Okay, and then release that top arm over, pop your head back on your hand, and then we'll turn the head to look up, and the hand might hold the back of the head. See how that is. And then take this right hand, turn it so the palm's facing out, drop it. You might get that hand underneath the small of the waist or anywhere there. And then be here, or maybe release that left hand, let the head drop. And a little interplay. You might bring your legs back. I'm going to keep them this time, but whatever works. Feel that stretch, the invitation of the stretch. Here. Start by taking that hand from behind your back, placing it on your bolster or the floor, bring your legs back, and then we'll come up and start by looking down and walking yourself upright. And again, just take a moment, bask in the joy of freedom and release. Okay, I'm going to bring my bolster back to where it was before, and this time we'll lie down and we'll put the chest on the bolster. And I'm going to keep this blanket here for extra height. Yogi's choice. And this blanket here should fit nice. Sweep this off. Okay. Oh, and then coming in, put yourself on it. Maybe you have to make manual adjustments. I have a block here. If you need a block for your head, you can always support your head. And just let it go. All right, it does take a bit of time. But once you figure it out, we're just using this prop as a place to play, breathing into it and softening around it. So I just have my palm over palm. I'm supporting my head there. Legs are extended, and I turn the toes in towards each other slightly, letting the heels just drop away from each other slightly. And then we're here for about another 5 breaths. So, maybe you're feeling a little claustrophobic, and this is kind of a fun place to play with that. Meaning the calming and the being with the breath. Pressing your head up, and we'll turn this into a supported sphinx. So the forearms will come down, and maybe if you're on the blanket roll, still should work pretty good. I'm just wiggling my hips a little bit, get into here, and move the shoulders back, and then anchor down to the elbows. Pull your chin in. Shoulders even might move back a little bit, like you are lifting your heart And then imagine, you're wearing a crown. How do you balance that? You have to lengthen the back of the neck. Ears, imagine that they're balanced over your shoulders in a straight line. Gaze is soft, jaw soft. You might draw your belly in a little bit just to support the low back. Extend your legs. How can you do that here? All this stuff, really good. A beautiful royal salamander. So, one more breath. And then lovingly release yourself back down. And you might have to readjust yourself. It's all fine. If you have hand over hand, switch it. A nice big breath in. Sigh it out. Do that again. Lifting your head when you're ready. Come back to your Sphinx for a moment. Okay, now I'm going to take the hands, and they might go off the sticky mat. So I just have the fingers spread. They're there, elbows are up. You're going to lift the chest. And the chest might come up off your prop. It might not. You're just going to rock side to side. So if I keep the chest on the prop, I can, move the elbows. Almost that's what's happening. Just swaying. You can also come up if you want. Turn it more into this. Strong legs, friends. Don't neglect the extension. You think of a cobra, and that tail behind him is just as active. Good. Okay, I'm just pushing into the hand. I'm going to take the belly back, drop the chin, move the shoulders back. Let the head really drop. If you're okay here, you could be doing this on your bolster. Good. Okay, lie yourself down last time on this bolster package. Figure it out. And then we'll press ourselves up onto hands and knees. So however you need to do that, do that. Good. Okay, we're going to flow into cat-cow. I'm going to move this bolster out of the way. Place your hands, tuck your toes under. Find this, like pausing your tabletop. Balance your crown for a moment and imagine you're standing. Good. And one more breath here, just exactly like this. And as you exhale now, release the belly, lift the hips, open, the chest shines through the arms. Head lifts. Good. Stay here, one more breath. Even if you've already been moving, okay. Come back and hang out. And then reverse and let the tail tucking guide you in. Once you're here, we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. And it's just pressing of the hands into the floor. Melting of the heart. The head hangs, the tail tucks. And then moving between the two at your own pace and your own grace, your own space. And then coming to your center. Let's do this. I'm going to tuck the toes under and come back for a moment and bring your bolster, your blanket roll back in. And it might come in a little closer, and I'll just show you really quick because we all know this one. We're going to take the arm up, we're going to come through, and then we have the bolster here, and that might be really nice. It could also go under your head. As I say that, you can decide, if you want to put the bolster under the chest or the head. I'm just going to leave it there and let things magically unfold. Okay, so from here, take the left hand in a little bit, reach the right arm up, inhale. And as you exhale, just sweep it, and we'll do that 2 more times, so 3 in total. Just feeling whatever's opening here. Good. Okay, this time we're going to come down. So, the arm can go on top of the bolster if you're using that. And we'll come down, and that might just be so sweet. Or you maybe put your head. I'm going to keep it like this. And breathe. And I've done this for a while, friends. So let's play with the balance. If we bring the knees a little closer together. Take the left leg out. And then you see, oh, is this okay? Maybe the left hand's gonna lift. I'm gonna take that left hand behind my back. Ah, it's been a long time. Still gonna play, try it, see if I can get there. Whew. Okay, and take 2 more breaths. It's all fun. It's just fun. And then we'll very lovingly come out. And as you come out, you'll take that right arm and lift it up, and it's gonna feel hopefully a little more open. Good. Okay. I'm gonna sit for a moment, feel tops of the feet are coming down. You're welcome to lie down if it's too much of a, or to come up on your knees and take a moment, just feel. Okay, we've opened this right side. I'm gonna drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Let the right shoulder drop. Okay, balancing your crown. Come back, and we'll do the second side. So you find your hands in your knees. The right hand comes in a little bit, and reach the left arm up. Sweep it through for a total of 3 times. Oh, I said bolster, top, bottom. Maybe even the arm can rest on the bolster. Let me try that. This time we'll come through. Oh, that might be just so nice. I should have, whatever. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You decide what works, and then you want to play with the balance. Knees come together. Keep the left toes tucked under and take the right leg out. And see what happens if you take the right hand behind. Ah! Take your time, find your grace, find your place, find your space, find your breath. And then when you're ready, release. Lift that left arm up. Oh, the glory for open things. Okay, come back. Let's sit for a moment, any way you like. We're just going to drop the head now to the right. Let the left shoulder drop and here. Good. Okay, downward facing dog. Move the bolster, unless you want to do a puppy pose. If your downward dog is not your vibe, the puppy. I'm just resting my chin, my chest there. All fine. All right, because we did the leg lift, I feel like I'm going to bring it in here. So walk your big toes closer together, and then let's start with the left leg. We'll just sweep it up, press into all of your limbs. And then let's take that dog peeing pose. So you'll bend your heel to the hip, and then open the knee, move the leg over. I like to look over to the right, see if I can see through the corners of my eye, my foot. Okay. Release. Let's switch. Lift the right leg up, sweep it, press through all your limbs. Is your head a limb? It kind of is. Okay. Bend the heel and then open. Breathe, feel. We haven't done this for a long time, so you might be like, oh, okay. Release. Good. Okay, come back down onto your knees. We're going to take the bolster into child's pose. So, prop that up. Maybe put the bolster between the thighs. Maybe you don't want to sit on the bolster. You might bring a block in. Maybe this is, oh, that feels nice. That's going to be mine today. So I'm actually sitting on the bolster. Put the block in for the head, and I know I can rest on this bolster, but if that doesn't work for you, you just add your props. That's why they're there. So to make things more accessible. The story behind the props is that P.K.S. Iyengar came to the States and he started to teach yoga the way he teaches it in India. He realized that Westerners have very tight hips, where Indians have tighter knees, I've heard, as the story goes. So he created all these props to help stiff Westerners find access to these places. Okay. We're going to rest here. I also have my feet are in line with my knees, just how it fell into them. And I'm cool with that. So if you feel supported by the props you put in, then you do the same action we do as when we lie on the back. It's that, how can I melt into these props? So literally surrender. I give it all to the props, to the floor. Give props to myself. Full breath. And one more, and my body's like, not yet. So I'm gonna listen to that. So if you're ready to come up, come up. Okay, move from a deep exhale. Press yourself up, and I'm going to take another downward dog just to stretch the legs out. Good. Maybe you can pick your toes up, wag your tail a little bit, maybe bend your knees. Good. Okay, let's walk the feet forward and the hands back and find your forward fold today. If you have your props, maybe you use them. I'm going to grab opposite elbows. Oh, they're even resting here in the props, so that's great. And just hang here. Feel the power and the awareness in your feet. Gently swaying forward and back, side to side, and just moving the weight around in the feet. Okay, nice sigh, exhale, and then we're going to roll up. So you bend the knees, roll up. You might just like come from the base, slowly bring yourself upright. And once you come up, just pause. Any dizziness, any lightheadedness, normal-ish to a certain extent. And okay, friends, so we're at the tree pose part of our practice. So I'm just going to move my prop. I'm just going to step over to the side, and you have your wall if you'd like it. Okay, so last class we did, we played a little bit with the holding underneath and extending the leg. So I'm going to offer that again, and then we'll come to. I'm going to make it very fun. So you might just hold the knee in. If you can see me, yeah. And then we'll hold the knee. We'll extend the leg. We'll hold the knee. We'll take the knee out to the side. Ta-da! And then we'll move it to a tree. And that could be very, might be this. It's all fine. Could be this. That feels fun too. Okay, so find your strength and your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And here where we live, we know what it means. Strong and ever present. Good. Okay. Feel your tailbone softening. And lift the belly, sides of the waist, shift the weight onto the left foot, and we'll start by catching that right knee or behind the thigh, yogi's choice. Okay, whatever it is, I'm going to press down with the right side, maybe take the leg out, just be in that, whatever it is, the wobbling, feel the left foot trying to figure it out. Yes, and then we'll bend the knee again if you had it out. I'm just going to hold it just with the right hand. Take it out to the side. Ooh, falling, but that's an opportunity. Be there. And then flow it into your tree pose as elegantly and graceful as you can, which always makes me laugh. And balancing the crown on your head as you balance your tree. Glory be. You want to lift your arms up. Go ahead, reach up, balance the crown. Nice. And then we'll come out and no grace, no elegance, just like, wah, coming out. Yes. Here we go. Okay. And then second side, and we'll start by finding your mountain pose. We're just standing there with full awareness into how our feet are holding us, are planting us. Balance the crown on your head. Lift up. And then shift the weight to the right side and bring that knee up, and maybe you'll catch it or you'll hold underneath it. And you find your grace. Smile because you're doing it. One more breath. And then I'm going to bend the knee again. Hold it with the left hand and take it out to the side. Right arm can go out. It can stay on your hip. You can make it challenging. And then flow into your graceful, elegant tree. I think that I shall never see anything as lovely as a tree. It becomes more and more true as every passing year. Lengthen, lift your crown. You earned it. King Charles is saying the same thing. I earned it. Patience, clarity, trust, and then release in your own funky, silly way. Ta-da! And then come down and give glory for 2 legs. Nice. Okay, I'm just going to step over the props. I haven't really moved them. We're going to take the legs out and we're going to take the arms to this 30 degree. I did this the other day and then I bent down to show you how I have my arms and we ended up in goddess. So let's do that again. We'll start with the feet pointing straight, the arms reaching, open your fingers. They're your branches to the leaves, to the sucking in all this good oxygen. Good. And then stay here, turn your toes out, bend your knees, and then the arms can come down. This is the pose. With the arms like, bent, and we move, nothing needs to be static. Maybe your hands are going to come onto your thighs and be like, oh yeah, this feels good. You plant down a little more, little, 70s aerobics bounce. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then come back up, turn your toes. Let's heel toe the feet together. Do. This is just good ankle work. I'm standing on my blanket. Take a moment to breathe. I'm going to turn to the side. I still have the props where they were. I'm going to reach straight up to the sky. Inhale. Good. And then exhale. Sit down in your legs. Bend your knees. Take your butt back. Take the heart wherever it's going to go. And then have the arms are out, but you could put them down. They could go here. Sit back into your heels. Draw the belly in. Yeah, I've lifted my toes. Inhale. Straighten the legs. And exhale and fold. All the way down. Once you get down, you can make your feet wider apart if you like. I'm going to take this bolster and just bring it back in. And I'll grab opposite elbows and hang again. And I did like that. Resting them on the bolster felt really nice. Just opening up the eyes of the knees. Backs of the knees as much as you can. Yes. One more breath. Oh, okay. Now let's take the hands out. I'm going to step back for downward dog. And we still have this nice setup for child's pose, so they use it again. If you moved your stuff, fine, and bring it back in. Okay. And then finding your way into child's pose. And the journey is just as important as the pose because especially if you have knee stuff, hip stuff, oh, lucky you. Then you have to really be very mindful, like how everything is falling in. Yeah, I just brought that block on top of my bolster. That feels nice for you. You can do that. Take your time. Yeah. Well, this pose is supposed to be one of those very relaxing, healing, calming places. And if you have hip knee stuff, it might not be that. And so we just invite it in, and this is incredible work. No matter if you're in a place where you just fall in or you have to work in. Be with your breath. Calm yourselves with the sound of your breath. And bringing yourself up. Our next pose is going to be a pigeon. And you might, the bolster sometimes can be really nice. I'm going to flow in from downward dog. That's up to you. You could just sit if you don't want to do that, or here's how we're going to flow. I'm just going to put my hands on top. Take a downward dog. Bring the big toes to touch-ish. I'm going to start with lifting the left leg up. Reach it up. And then I want to bring it into pigeon. So this is a challenge because you have the bolster. Maybe it first comes onto the bolster. You might put your knee there and then wiggle it so you get the thigh. The foot will come over the bolster. So now I have the knees over the bolster, the ankles over the bolster. Thigh is supported, and I'll come down. And this might be too much. If it's too much, maybe you just lie a little bit back more. You find your way. Coming in with the hips more squared is going to be a bigger stretch. And if you don't like the bolster, you take it out and just put it underneath the right hip. Now, taking the first few minutes to either be in the discomfort or to make a change. Find your breath. And now I'm going to drop my head down because I know I can. You could also use a block. Align yourself with your breath. And one more. Okay. I'm not going to come out completely. I'm just going to lift up, shift onto this left hip, and sweep the right leg around. So you come into this sitting on the bolster, and the right foot could be in front of the left shin, or it could be over the thigh. And then we'll interlace the fingers. Just P. And you just lift yourself up. Balance your crown. Yeah, like you're really balancing your crown. With soft jaw and soft eyes. Okay, I'm going to take twist. So the left hand stays where it is. The right hand comes behind. Let's do the lean back. So we're on this, walk the hand back, lean back, open. Like, oh, what's happening behind you? Can you see? Good. Okay, and then we'll start to walk up. It might be a little too much and you might need to grab a block. Okay, stay here, friends. Wherever you are, put your mind to that right big toe. You can even look at it. Is it really lifting? What can you do to invite it to come down? To anchor in some way. And release. I'm not going to come out completely. I'm going to drop to knee over knee here. You could go cross-legged. You just tuck that right, you know how to sit cross-legged. So either knee over knee or cross-legged, and we'll take a moment to balance the crown again. Lifting your heart, and maybe the hands come to your heart. I'm going to add Gomukhasana hands. I'm just going to turn around to face you. So you're here. So maybe we take the arms out and we have this right thigh on top. So the left arm comes underneath. And then you might hold your shoulders or bring the hands together. Almost, I'm pressing the heart space back. I'm going to drop the shoulders and find the crown balancing. Breathe here. So that if the arms are over top, they're actually pressing against each other. Okay, I'm going to take the forward fold. So the elbows come in and might just be a bit of a cat pose. You drop the head. You might even rest your forehead on your hand there. So if you can go all the way down, take the elbows in and really tuck the head. And then I can hold maybe the crown of the head. Whatever you're in, support your forehead, crown of head, whatever. Breathe. Okay, we'll come out. I'm just going to separate the arms, reach up to the sky, and then take the hands down. And we'll stretch the legs out. So I'm just going to hold the bolster, take these little legs out, little da-da-da, windshield wiper-ish. Maybe straighten the legs, just move the toes. Okay, then we're going to do the second side, and I'm going to flow in again through downward dog. Okay, so just da-da-da. Lying downward dog, or come in any way you like. Okay, from downward dog, big toes touch, we'll lift the right leg up. And then, you bring the knee, maybe it lands on the bolster, turn the foot, come down, and then you'll just kind of wiggle it in, find it, foot comes over top or not. You know what you like or what works. A little rocking is always nice. Find it. Once you feel like, okay, this is a good place for me, maybe the hands will walk forward and we'll rest, forearms are all the way down. You find your big, beautiful breath, the releasing, the letting go, the embracing. Starting to bring yourself upright and roll more to the right side so you can sweep the left leg around. And yogi's choice here again, it might just pop right there. Or it can go over. And then opposite interlace and feel the crown is being balanced. The ears are balanced over the shoulders, heart is lifting. You're balancing your crown, smiling, waving. That's it. Okay, then we'll move into the twisty part. So the right hand holds this, lift up, turn, and then take your hand down, walk it back so you actually lean back. You might even, what's going on over there? Oh, I think I see the king. Okay. And then coming back up, and we'll stay in the twist if this works, but find that balancing. For me, I know I'm always kind of tilted to one side. If I had to balance a crown on my head, it'd probably work wonders. Good. All right, and then release. And we're going to go to it's called cow's head pose, Gomukhasana. Knee over knee, throw a blanket in. Don't go knee over knee, it's just the opposite cross. Find your place. Okay, let's start with the hands at the heart. You find the balance. This whole body, it's like you're just sitting in a chair. Now we'll open the arms out. This time the right arm's going to go at the bottom, underneath. You can hold on to your shoulders. I love you. Grab hold and really anchoring the arms against each other. It's going to affect the shoulder girdle in a nice way. Make some length for the neck. Balance your crown, soft eyes, soft jaw. And we'll move into the curling in. So you might even just be bringing the forearms or the upper arms into the chest and curling. And all the way. I'll take the shoulders away from the ears. Imagine. Still have that long neck, very supported, very strong. Reach up as you come out and it's like you're just waking up. Good morning. Down, take the legs out. A little bit of this. Yes. Okay. I'm going to come off the bolster. I'm going to do it this way. Take the hands back, feet down, take a little opportunity for a reverse tabletop. Moving I love this, how could you move your arms like this? You balance your crown here. Okay, we'll let the tush land on the other side of the bolster. We'll take this bolster, we're going to turn it, and we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, lying down. We'll move into Shavasana from there. That might even be Shavasana. You want to put blocks underneath? Well, I know I'm going to want to. Feels nice. Socks on, sweaters on, heating pads if they're not being used by two little puppies. So, okay, and then, like I said, Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together. If you need more blankets or pillows or whatever you've got, just throw them underneath your eyes here. Good. Okay, well, the eye pillow just popped out. It's like, oh, go. Okay, something underneath your head would be also very nice. Okay. Oh. Then we're gonna rest here. I'll say this too, once you get here, if you're too much of a drop for the shoulders, just get up, find something else to put underneath your arms to support them a little more. And I can already feel my voice is saying, shh. Resting comfortably and comfortably resting. Crown has been put in its case and everything can just melt into this shape. Staying in this shape or changing to whatever you'd like to rest in for a few minutes. yourself into the deepest state of softening. Staying in your stillness or slowly beginning the journey of awakening. You're still on your bolster, reminding yourself you're on a height. Feeling into your own energy, space around you. See if it's palpable. You can even, if you're sitting, you might move your hands. Feel my energy feels so big. It's a bubble of good energy. It's breathing that in and breathing into it. Nothing can, it's a protective bubble. Nothing can get through unless you let it. Invite it. Bringing your hands together at your heart and bowing your chin. All that you are, all that you bring, all that you offer, and all that you do, all the good work you do in this world, in your world. So with gratitude for your capital S self at this moment, seal this practice with an Om. Inhale. Om. Breathe into your hands. If there's anything you're calling in, call it in, and even release it, to yourself and into your energy. And this is going to happen. I'm calling it in. I'm going to send it out because what I need, you need, and you need, I need. All the same and yet completely different. It's so magical. So, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing and being here. And so much joy. And it's an honor. So, enjoy this day. Magic every way. Love you all.